Indian steel industry has developed significantly in the last few years. We've invested more than 5 lakh crores in creating fresh capacity. 6 of India's steel companies are amongst the most competitive globally. And I don't think it's anybody's case that India's steel sector is not competitive. But there is currently not a level playing field. So what we wanted to do was to give a level playing field, given that we are at a stage of consumption where it's hardly 1/10 or 1/5 the global average. India's per capita consumption of steel is only 60 kilos, whereas the global average is around upwards of 250. Now, what we expect that this will do is that this will give some breathing time for the industry to come back to health. They have been bleeding heavily. They will come back to health. But at the same time, we have also taken care to ensure that downstream users are not affected. That is why you will find that certain categories of steel which we don't make, which end user industries require, all that has been kept out. So we've tried to take a judicious view between protecting the steel industry and keeping in mind the user industry's needs and interests.
You said that it's going to be revised or will be seen once again whether it needs to be revised after 6 months. What all considerations will you have in mind while going for this decision to revise or to further increase it or not?
No, MIP is an emergency provision. We will in the meantime be looking towards anti-dumping, moving towards more stable, longer term measures for a level playing field. So we hope that by that time we will actually be able to move into those kinds of measures. Now we will have to see 2-3 things. One, we'll have to see what is the behavior of imports in response to this. We will have to see what is the response within the domestic steel industry as well as users. So we'll have to take all these considerations on board when we review MIP.
Domestic steel companies, they tend to increase their prices further. Will you go and tell them not to increase prices exponentially because they generally take undue advantage of these measures, and on the other hand they're hurting many industries in India as well which were against this MIP or other measures. So will you tell domestic steel companies to not go for exponential price rises, or they can go for price rise whenever they can?
No, certainly the government will be sending out a very strong message that MIP doesn't mean that this is a license for steel companies to arbitrarily increase prices. As I said, what we are trying to do is provide a level playing field. But certainly we will be keeping a review so that the price rises are also reasonable.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/etnow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at etnowlive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/etnow.